Well, what can I say? Did you honestly expect this to just end like this? Of course not. Payment processors are still actively trying to censor and take over Steam and gaming in general. Visa, Mastercard, and everyone's favorite platform to dislike, PayPal, are still virtue signaling like there's no tomorrow and still being overall evil, because obviously anytime you hear about something bad happening in gaming or some kind of game content causing controversy, the first thing that you think about is, oh no, the payment processors allowed this to happen. No, no, of course not. That's a stupid joke. But the payment processors are literally dying on the hill. No! Everyone knows about us and we need to keep our image. That's obviously a lie. The average person does not even know payment processors exist. The average person has no idea who payment processors are, and they don't care. No one ever thinks, oh man, it's my bank's fault that Steam is selling this game. Or, well, saying that is kind of actually wrong. I retract my statement. It's not Steam's fault. Steam is doing everything as good as it should be, and they're pro-consumer as much as any multi-billion company honestly can be. But these people aren't, and I hate them.
Need to talk about payment processors again, because the fallout from all of the interference is still unfolding across the industry. We've got some devs on Steam being cut off from early access funding. There are devs using PayPal having a lot of fun, like as an example, one dev claiming that their £80,000 is being held hostage. But the pushback...
PayPal is not a platform for payments. PayPal is literally a virtue signal. That's what PayPal is at the end of the day. PayPal does not care about making money or being a good platform. They care about literally woke issues and agendas. There's no other way to honestly describe this.
Thankfully is also real, because right now in the UK, Australia, and Canada, governments are facing public pressure to, well, regulate this payment processor BS.
That is hilarious, because the UK is dead and no one cares, rightfully so. Canada is no one cares ×2, and Australia. How's the open air camps treating you, Australians? Probably great. I know. It's great. Don't worry about it.
There is a thread I've got to mention that I've got to call out, and that is people just saying, oh, well, you know, won't really impact me. I don't really care. It's a bit like when people say, oh, I've got nothing to hide, therefore that privacy law isn't really that important. Nah, I'd say, if you think...
Those people are idiots. Those people are lunatics, and they should not be given rights of speech, honestly, in my opinion. People who say shit like this fundamentally don't understand the world, reality, and, well, needless to say, the current time period we are living in. Okay, giving your rights away means that they're never coming back. The only time that your rights come back is during a revolution, which, I don't know about you, but I would rather avoid. And just saying, I would rather avoid that option.
This won't impact you, sorry, but I really think you are wrong, especially when we run this experiment across time. This campaign means that huge chunks of the world can't buy games, any games. And when that sort of thing is happening, no one escapes the effects, because even if you don't know they're impacting you, they are, because they're systemic effects that are industry-wide. And that's just one reason why this matters. You know how we live in the Torment Nexus? Well, one little feature of the Torment Nexus is fun things like... If you missed our latest videos, well, here's the short version of what happened. Payment processors demanded changes...
Don't worry, I got you, fam.
...to Steam and to itch.io. But not just that, they fundamentally altered how adult content gets processed, and they've set a terrible...
And by the way, why? Because a bunch of Australian women who have no boyfriends, no relationships, nothing to do with their free time, needless to say, no children or husbands, just needed to feel a little bit more powerful. Because their lives are miserable. This is unironically how this started.
precedent for how art can be sold. itch.io, as an example, is still dealing with an incredible, humongous workload where they're just having to reindex all of their adult works. They're also having to find new payment processors who will accept adult content, and they have loads of devs who are real frustrated with the situation. Over on Steam, well, Valve have delisted many games. They've also changed their rules completely, such that now anything a payment processor does not like can't be sold on Steam. And the inciting incident, I suppose, where this all comes from.
And make no mistake, this is just a power grab. These payment processors just want to control everything because, well, they're on the agenda list. Again, they could have just literally lived life freely, because you need to understand what payment processors actually do. They get money for every time a single payment gets processed. You buy something, they get a small, minute cut of it. It is ridiculously lucrative. It's like printing money, effectively, because every time someone buys something, you're getting a small cut of it. And yes, sure, getting 0.00050 zeros of a penny from a penny transaction is not exactly great, but you need to understand that that's a pretty decent number considering you're processing literally trillions of those penny transactions every single hour. So, you know.
It's groups like Collective Shout, where they essentially object to all, air quotes, exploitation media. Legal or illegal, it doesn't matter to them. It's essentially based on, I guess, personal morals and distaste, which they are totally okay to have. But, you know, it's...
True, they are allowed to have these blatantly autistic distastes and borderline incoherence with reality and how humanity functions. If they want to be retarded, they have the full right to do it, okay? There's called this magical thing the left side of America, the lefties, and they're all delusional. They have the right to do so, but you know when it's a little bit bad? When these people try to put their own views on things onto others. That's when we have a problem. And they're very active doing this, sadly.
Whenever they try to make them be the morals and the tastes that the rest of us are kind of forced to live by. And they're just one example of groups who are pressuring payment processors. And these processors, well, they're happy to restrict creators from the financial system. We all kind of know that. So happy that, in this story, they're allegedly withholding £80,000 from a dev. His crime was...
Not the first time PayPal does this. PayPal is actually very desperate to get more money. Because people hate PayPal at this point. They don't really use it that often. PayPal is great for a couple of things, honestly. A lot of things that involve art and whatnot. But PayPal as a platform, people hate it. I hate PayPal. PayPal's like bullshit. PayPal is complete trash in my opinion. Not even going to go into details, but I have a personal reason also in the past month why I want to hate him even more.
That he worked on one of those nudie games. Tut. Let's talk about the 80 grand. It's what one dev has had held in PayPal whenever PayPal froze his account. PayPal basically asked where the money came from. It's a sort of question often asked for financial crime purposes. Now, the dev said that it came from, quote, programming work on video games. Well, that wasn't enough. PayPal dug deeper. They asked for a store page, and when they discovered it was adult content that was legal in the United Kingdom, they refused to release the money. Yeah, because someone who did programming work on a product that's legal in the UK, just, you know, PayPal? No, can't use that. And the reason why is that it broke their terms and conditions. You see, their rules say any activity, quote, that relates to transactions for digital adult content is a violation. So, getting paid for work on an adult game does count, even if you're just, say, programming the liquid physics. Yeah, so that counts. This isn't really a new thing. It's actually been happening for years. It's one of the reasons why, well, in this space, nobody really likes PayPal. PayPal even limits accounts for creators with adult Patreons as one example. They withhold payments from creators quite often, and usually it only gets fixed.
The worst part about PayPal, by the way, is not exactly this. It's the fact that PayPal, I'm pretty sure PayPal will introduce rules that allow them to just take money from people if they feel like it. They're gonna do it because there are already rules where people can just fine people. Remember a year or 2 years ago, or when did this happen? That PayPal was gonna fine people because they said things that they don't like on other platforms. Not even PayPal, but on other platforms. And they were gonna fine people for it. And it doesn't matter if your account doesn't have the money. If you don't have the money, then your bank puts you on debt. It's insane. Like PayPal needs to be removed. PayPal is just insane.
If your complaints go viral enough to, say, warrant a review from Business Insider. And if you think that's oddly specific, yeah, it is, because that's what it took to recover 90,000 US dollars.
Oh yeah, I remember Belle Delphine's thing. She was selling that bath water. She made like 80K, and PayPal fined her for more. PayPal throws more than 90K an adult in violation policy. 5 years later, Belle Delphine fell and got paid. I mean, this is just PayPal. They also fined her or something like that. There was at least one person who got fined for doing it, which is insane.
In one particular case. And unfortunately, what happens is that the options are continually narrowing for these people. As an example, our developer with the 80 grand locked in PayPal, well, he's being debanked by multiple UK banks. They simply say that it's too risky. Now, you may think that that doesn't affect you. You're not buying or making adult games. But here's the thing. Valve gives us direct evidence that these demands go way beyond adult games. Back in July, Steam confirmed something shocking. PayPal's acquiring bank, which is the one that processes the payments, made a new rule. And it's one you've probably felt, because it was that they would no longer accept Steam transactions in most currencies. They would only accept them in British pounds, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, American dollars, and Japanese yen. Sounds like a currency problem, right? Maybe it's about refunds and conversions. No, it's not. Steam told Rock Paper Shotgun the truth in the matter, that this is, quote, regarding content in Steam related to what we've previously commented on surrounding Mastercard. What does that mean? Well, it means that anyone trying to buy any products on Steam through PayPal will get punished. And it's all because payment processors don't like legal adult content. I think the words legal need to be emphasized. This is not just about like fringe illegal stuff. This is about...
By the way, how insane this is? Well, none of them have any problems with OF. None. They're all fine with doing that. And other things too, also. I mean, they're all fine with that.
Mainstream legal stuff. Pretty bad. And for developers, this is another disaster and what's just been an avalanche of bad news. Seriously, it's just been bad. As an example, another thing in Steam, which is early access. And Valence flagged what multiple devs discovered, which is that Steam is denying early access to adult games. For the developers involved, this was obviously a bit of a shock. They had spent weeks going back and forth with reviewers at Steam, and nobody mentioned this limitation. But now they are locked out from launching store pages. And that means not just money stuff. No, it means they can't generate followers. It means they can't build wish lists, things that are important for how lots of games are made. And here's what's weird. This isn't even a consistent thing. You see, Rock Paper Shotgun found denials as recently as 2024, but SteamDB shows games released in early access after that point. Games with adult content, that is. So it's all quite strange. Steam's review...
Doesn't that just means it's not retroactive? What's exactly strange about that?
Process page hasn't changed publicly. Since April 2019, adult-only titles needed both store pages and a product build completed for review. Now, Valve warned that it might take a bit longer than 3 to 5 days. I could make a lot of jokes there, but I'll leave those aside. But nowhere does it say that early access is not an option. So this is strange. Something has changed. Valve have not announced the change though. So if you're making a non-mature game, sure, you can use early access, do whatever you want. But the moment your game might be objectionable on adult grounds, the second it may have a nipple, the restrictions will kick in. Now, this isn't just an annoyance. Things like early access often function as a lifeline. It basically helps developers fund their final development push. That option is now gone for adult devs. That's yet another revenue stream cut off in a world where, basically no banks or payment processors seem to want to touch them. So, what options do we have as a public, especially if our concern is not just what's happening now, but if our concern is also the direction of travel? As an example, there's a snippet I often brought up regarding Mastercard, where basically their rules talked about what is genuine art. And I don't know about you, but I don't think Mastercard should be the people judging whether something is or is not art. No, I think...
I mean, everything is art. Whoa, what the hell is this? 2 items, a burger and fries, $36.15? Bruh, this is daylight robbery. Holy. People need to learn how to cook.
Mastercard should be processing payments. Remember the change.org petition from last time? Yeah, change.org. So a noble effort, but it only gained 20,000 signatures since then. What's actually been more impactful, though, is quite good. It's regional petitions. These have actually cut through, and some of them are getting significant backing. In the United Kingdom, 7,500...
Okay, again, none of these petitions are going to do anything in Britain. Like, Britain is the last place that are going to work. Canada has a slight chance because Trudeau's not in charge. Australia's probably fucked. But Britain? Bro, we're going to live... The apocalypse is going to come sooner than Britain actually does a single smart choice. Britain is completely off its rocker and insane. Remember when people signed the petition and said, yeah, we don't want all of these oppressive things in government? And the government said, LOL, bruh. Of course you do, actually. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, that was Billiard News 10 out of 10. Bye!